One of the ways that we work at OWL to foster deep discussions between students are through several different protocols for discussion in the classroom. One of these, which you'll see here, is called the Socratic Fishbowl. The Socratic Fishbowl is special because what it does is it puts a small group of students sort of in the hot seat, where they're having a conversation while the remainder of the class, outside as you see here, are watching and listening to what they're saying. The fishbowl begins with about 4 to 6 students in the circle, and the night before a fishbowl, everybody gets prepared by reviewing all the readings that we've been through in class, as well as developing a set of questions that they can use to keep the conversation going. The questions are usually open-ended and things that don't just have a simple yes or no answer. They also prepare by reviewing all the readings that we've done. We go into a fishbowl with the expectation that students will be using evidence to back up their ideas, and if they don't, they should be prepared for other students within the fishbowl to push back on that in a respectful way. In addition to providing an opportunity for kids to learn about the importance of evidence, the fishbowls also provide a great opportunity to understand the fact that there are multiple perspectives to every issue. They go into a fishbowl knowing that they're not going to agree with everything that other people say, but also they know that this is not a debate. It's not to try to change people's minds. What they're doing is to try to really suss out the way they feel and also to understand the way that others feel. What you're seeing here is a short fishbowl, some excerpts from one that we've done in the 6th grade English Language Arts class surrounding screen time and its impact on the brain.
On the other hand, there's people like cyberbullies, often on social media channels, things like that. Maybe channels, but social media places.
I also kind of disagree with the Facebook topic because it's very easy to just forget about your real life and go into this fake world where people show you what they want you to see and not what their real life. It's like there was one video, it was like a month ago or something, that was about how when they're on the Facebook page, like they make these friends with basically nothing.
The primary responsibility of students outside the fishbowl is to carefully listen to the conversations that are happening within. Here, students are using a back channel. This provides real-time feedback on how the conversation inside of the fishbowl is going. It also improves the degree of dialogue that's happening in the fishbowl when they themselves get a chance to be inside, since they've been carefully monitoring and learning from some of the strengths and weaknesses of those in the fishbowl before them.
I also think that another downside is that children can get hooked on technology and use it too much. And playing on electronics can be addicting. The pediatric Dr. Lyras Margiat says, when very small children get hooked on tablets and smartphones, they can unintentionally cause permanent damage to their still developing brains.
Yeah. So something like that, except it wasn't damage to little kids. In the excerpt of the online educa debate that we watched in class, those kids were like, they were sitting on the computer for like 8 hours every day, talking to people in Greece or who knows where. People they don't exactly know. They're never going to meet in person. And they don't even talk to people in their own village.
In addition to the digital back channel, sometimes the facilitator will pause the conversation happening in the fishbowl to solicit feedback and comments from those who have been outside observing. This type of metacognition improves the level of discourse within the circle and gives people an opportunity to set goals and reflect on their strengths so far.
Just going to pause for a second. Outer circle, raise your hand. I'd like to get a little bit of feedback from you on how the conversation is going so far. So I'm not asking you to add to what they've been saying. I'm looking for some noticings and some wonderings about our conversation, not just with this group, but throughout the day so far. Daniel?
I noticed that they have touched on it a little, but they haven't really gone to the educational parts and the uneducational parts.
Okay. So the difference between educational screen time and entertainment screen time? Okay. Luke?
I think they need to be a bit louder and stop talking about their personal experiences.
Okay, so one volume, everybody that's at the table could speak up a little bit. And then could you say a little bit more about the second thing you said?
Because really, it's been mostly this group, but they're just talking about like their own experiences
And why is that not okay for you?
because there aren't necessarily enough facts to build.
Is it totally against the fishbowl law to talk about yourself?
No,
But what should you do if you're sharing a personal story?
add facts to it.
Yeah, back it up with evidence.
Discussion protocols like this provide students with more opportunities than a more traditional teacher-centered classroom. When there are opportunities for inquiry and genuine compelling engagement, deeper learning
I
can
think
happen.
one of the bad parts though is like the dopamine part. Like so when you're playing the game, you get a bunch of dopamine in your brain, and then once you go like outside or do something like in the real world, then it'll be boring.